2, 1.
Welcome, everybody, to the Green Mountain Championships 2022. We are here with Jeff Spring, the tour director. Welcome, Jeff.
Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
Here we are in your hometown in beautiful Smugglers Notch. How's it feel to be back?
Feels great. This is my dream spot to be. Love it in Vermont. Worked here at the resort for a decade, building the courses, running the ski and ride school. It's great being back. This is like at least my personal Shangri-La for disc golf, and I love being here. So I'm feeling really good, Zoe. Thanks.
Fall in the Northeast is a beautiful timing as well. And getting right into it, we'd like to call this like a semifinals for the tour. We're wrapping into a very important time in the season. We have 96 MPO and 39 FPO. How will a player advance to play next week?
Well, it's the first iteration of the Disc Golf Pro Tour playoffs. So here in MVP, we're basically whittling the field down. Most people are signed up for MVP. There will be a few spots on the line here. 3 ways to qualify for both these events are through tour points, next through regional qualifiers, which are already set. Week of qualifiers, so folks next week on Tuesday will have a chance to qualify for MVP. And then there's about 6 sponsor exemptions for men, 3 for women. That's 4 ways to get in. And I think that there'll be people on the line that really want to get down to MVP or be forced to play in that Tuesday playoff.
And with Smugglers Notch courses being very familiar to the tour itself, the beginning pro tour actually started right here at the championships. Have there been significant changes to both sides?
Since 2016, yes. Yeah, we updated both courses, like probably 2 new holes on Brewster, 2 on Fox for Worlds in 2018. And we're doing the same for Worlds in 2023. We've made a few tweaks since then. So hole 14 on Brewster has a new green, a little extended. Instead of straight to kind of left, it's going to be a uphill forehander turnover for the righty. It's going to be harder to score, probably going from one of the top 2 easiest holes on Brewster to middle of the pack at least, I would imagine. But we'll see the stats. A couple lines have changed, couple tweaks. Some holes have evolved on Fox. But really right now we're in a planning process for some significant changes for Worlds. One thing on Brewster is that they have brand new tee boxes. So we've done a lot of research and gotten some really rough brushed pavers that are out there, and we're hearing good results, and players are enjoying them so far.
Wonderful. Well, my last question for you, actually shifting gears, has to do with announcing that the Tour Championships will be at Nevin Disc Golf Course. Mm-hmm. What kind of a response have we received since that announcement?
Well, I've personally been pretty busy, so I haven't seen a ton of response other than initial excitement in the Charlotte area and players being excited and intrigued. So nothing negative so far. We're really excited. When I first actually became tour director in 2019, one of the first things we did was establish the Tour Championship in Charlotte. And we were between 2 courses. So we were between Hornets Nest and Nevin. We went back and forth, and we felt that at the time, Hornets Nest, both courses were very worthy. Hornets Nest was going to be a little easier to make tweaks, perhaps a little bit easier to get more spectators, especially general admission on. And it's proved to be a great venue for us for 3 years. They have a Greenway project that was either going to start, well, it's supposed to start last year, but now it was either going to start before or after. It was cutting it too close. It's going to make significant alterations to the course. So that project's up and running now, and we did make the change to get it over to Nevin. Really excited about Nevin. We're doing the same thing at Nevin that we are at what we did at Hornets Nest, which is kind of create a super pro layout for the best in the world. It's a wooded track. People have fondly called it Nevin Nightmare, I think, in the past. Maybe not so fondly. But that's just because how wooded it is. And just really excited to kind of open up a couple holes. Maybe, better for spectating. But Mark Huther and the Charlotte Disc Golf Club down there, we've met with them several times. I was down there myself doing some signal testing. We expect a great broadcast, great spectator experience, and a really tough challenge for the pros.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Jeff. I'm going to hand it off to Hayden Henry from the PDGA.
Great.
Hey, Jeff.
Hi.
Just running it back just a little bit. First iteration of the playoffs. How do you see this evolving over the next few years and becoming more and more elite?
Yeah, I would say this is the pilot season for not only the tour card program, but for the playoffs as well. We wanted to focus on keeping it pretty broad. We had regional qualifiers. We wanted New Englanders that love and cherish these events to be able to compete to access them. So the regional qualifiers and the week of qualifiers are ways to do that. But really, this is about a march to the Tour Championship. We've had it right at like 32 and 16 for qualifying this year. We've cut it to 30 and 14 with a six player qualifier in both men and women. So this is about more chances at the end to get more points. These are 125%. So if you are close, you have a big opportunity to get even more points to jump in. 88 and 44 are the fields next week at MVP. So we're going to have about 132, players out there. And I think it's going to be just ramping up excitement. We're going to be watching the advancing lines really closely and watching how the points affect, this march to the Tour Championship and the points race.
In that same vein of a pipeline, you saw a new course debut last week on the Silver Series. How does that fall in line with the projections for the coming years of what courses we see on tour?
Yeah, I think Butler County was a great event. I know that the course is new to tour, and there's some work to do on it, but the potential out there is fantastic. I know the pros that played there felt great about it, so we're excited to see that. The Pittsburgh Flying Disc Association, they've done great things. They've hosted Worlds in 2015. I was there. Loved it. Loved Moraine. Loved Deer Lakes. And I can see Pittsburgh, just continuing to be a part of the scheduling. Right now, we're in our final iterations, trying to get final decisions on tour event dates for next year. We usually announce in September or early October. We're on pace for a September announcement. We're excited to kind of get our events under contract for next year, and then share the schedule with the world.
All right, going back even a little bit further, the Disc Golf Network at Pro Worlds.
Yeah.
Break down those numbers and what you saw on your end.
Yeah, record-breaking viewership. That was number one for FPO. It wasn't necessarily tight down the stretch, but still broke records. About 20,000 concurrent viewers on that stream. And then we all know what happened with the Holy Shot and, just this unbelievable reaction across all sports media in 2021. We outdid that, in terms of just popularity of the sport and viewers interested in watching the World Championships. It was a huge push, 50,000 concurrent, over 120,000 individuals watching that stream. So it's just a great arrow pointing up continually for disc golf, I think. The partnership with the PDGA on the majors, the growth of the Disc Golf Network and the Disc Golf Pro Tour just keeps going. So looking forward to that schedule next year. We already know the majors, of course, and we'll be here for Worlds.
Yeah, that was my next question. Smugglers Notch, the crew on the ground here, yourself, are now on the clock for Pro Worlds 2023.
Yeah.
What does that mean to have a Pro Worlds in this new era? It's only been 5 years.
It's been 5,
we're in a different world.
No, it does feel like 10, actually. It's so much has changed and evolved in the pro side of the game, and we're excited. We've got some significant changes planned. We're going into permitting this fall to make those changes. We're going to upgrade the facility here. Really excited to make those announcements, and we'll be right back on Labor Day next year, so people can pretty soon buy tickets, make their plans, come to Smugglers Notch Labor Day 2023. But this organization, Smugglers Notch Resort, is second to none. They're continually ranked the top resort for skiing and riding, family vacations in the entire East Coast. If you haven't been here, you should get here. It's a disc golf paradise.
You may have answered this a little bit, but I believe this is a decade of disc golf at Smugs going back to 2012.
Yeah, July 4th was the 10-year anniversary.
So you look around and see all this and what it's become in the past decade. What does it mean to you personally?
It means a lot. I'm somebody who kind of derives meaning and works with passion from my profession, and I'm in disc golf industry because I love it. I'm passionate about it. We share a vision as our organization and with our partners on growth, and there's so many stakeholders in the community. We're just happy to try to be representing all those stakeholders in terms of our growth, our professionalism, what we can achieve, as a community. And, Smugglers for me, is embodiment. Like when we're here, I see, a decade of work, passion for the game and just an amazing team here on the ground, this Golf Pro Tour, that has achieved, something really special. So, it's incredibly meaningful.
That's Jeff Spring. We'll be right back.
Thanks.
And we are back, joined with Chris Dickerson. Hello, Chris. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for asking. Back in Smugglers Notch, not too much to be upset about. So currently you are in 5th place in the Disc Golf Pro Tour standings, and you're the defending champion.
Yep.
So that's actually sounds like a pretty comfortable position to be in. Can you talk about how you're feeling in general right now?
Yeah, feeling good. Like you said, we're back in Smugglers Knots. This is one place I always look forward to coming back to. The courses, the area, just everything about this.
And, you might not have, let's say, placed up to your standards over the last couple events. However, does that change any of the feelings coming back to both of these courses, and or are the changes at these courses influencing any different focus pattern for your attack plan this weekend?
No, not really. I've been focusing on the things that I've been doing wrong, working on those during practice rounds, and I'm feeling a lot better about it. Yeah. What is it? One new hole on Brewster?
Yes.
One.
That's right.
It's not my favorite, but we've all got to play it. So I think it's either going to be, unless you have something unlucky happen, it's either going to be a 2 or a 3.
Well said. And now this is considered a semi-finals in the new format. How do you feel about the new DGPT format?
Looking at it, like, it hasn't happened yet. I'm not a huge fan of cutting the field size to 100 and then next week it's 60 or 80, something like that. But I mean, that just takes away spots from other people. But we haven't played it yet, so we'll see how it turns out, and I might change my opinion after.
Well said. And I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to Hayden.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Yeah, what are some things that you have been struggling with this season?
Putting's been on and off. I think it was at Worlds. It felt good 4 out of the 5 rounds, but my drive was a little off. And, a couple weeks before that, putting was a little off, but the drive was on. So it's just getting all that working together.
We hounded you about this at the early of the season with the new bag. How has it evolved, throughout the year, or has it?
Yeah, it's changed a little bit. I've still got like 7 to 9 forces in the bag. That was just something that people were initially saying. Just throwing the new discs that come out, the Athena, working some more beat-in discs into the bag. So didn't have those at the beginning of the year, so working those in. that's pretty much it.
All right, we're heading into this Dickerson time of the season, as it's been called in the past, with MVP, USCGC, and the Pro Tour finale. A lot to play for to finish this crazy year off. What's the drive over this next month of this intense disc golf?
I don't know. This is always just some part of the tour that I look forward to. So I guess that's going to be the drive. Is the courses that I'm used to, what I like playing, and stuff like that.
What about Nevin? How many times have you been up there?
I've been out there a few times. I really like Nevin.
Nice.
So I was excited whenever I heard it was the Pro Tour was coming there.
All right, that's Chris Dickerson, the defending champ here at Green Mountain. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
And we are back, joined here with Sarah Hokom and faithful dog, wanderer, travel partner, Raven. Sarah, how are you doing today?
Great. It's another day in paradise.
And so currently you are in 9th place in the Disc Golf Pro Tour standings.
Oh, cool.
And After withdrawing from Worlds and placing second at Tim Selinsky last weekend, first of all, congratulations, and second, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. Yeah, the choice to not play Worlds and put my body before competition was the right one, and I feel great coming into this one.
All right, and so you finished runner-up at GMC last year, and you've had great records out here on these two courses. Anything different, or have any of the hole changes messed with your practice plan and tournament plan? What's the attack?
I've been reviewing a lot of my old notes and a lot of the same. I'm gonna have the same game plan on a lot of the holes. They did extend hole 9 out on Brewster, and then they changed hole 14, I believe. 14, yeah. I like the changes. I mean, the extension of hole 9 makes that one a little bit out of range and increases the difficulty of that tee shot by a lot. So that one I'll be throwing the best shot I can and scrambling, trying to get the par there instead of having a birdie look there. But they also really increased the difficulty on 14. And that, I don't know that very many players are even going to get that one when it used to be kind of a gimme for especially the righty backhand. So as a righty sidearm, I don't mind it getting harder in my favor.
Well said. I appreciate hearing that feedback. So thinking about how this is a semifinals and how this is a different format going into the Tour Championships, how do you feel about the new format?
I think it's really interesting that in the past players have had an opportunity to drop poor scores. And, you know, they've been able to play enough events, you can get a high enough finishes to get a lot of points. And I think there's going to be a big shakeup in the leaderboards, especially on the, especially in the women from maybe the 10 to 20 range. I think there's going to be a lot of changes to those standings, and it's really going to come down to players performing well at both of these next two events. They don't get to drop it anymore, myself included.
And my last question for you here is that the Tour Championships is going to be hosted at Nevin Disc Golf Course. What are your thoughts there?
I'm stoked for the change. I know Nevin is kind of a nightmare, I hear, so it sounds great for me. And I like that they're changing it up, still keeping it a really technical course. You know, over the years, the veteran players kind of have an advantage on some of these, on a lot of these courses, because we played them for so many years and have had a chance to work out the holes over the course of many failures. So the fact that everybody be coming into Nevin like brand new, I think is a good move.
All right, and here's Hayden Henry with the PDGA.
Hey, Sarah.
Hey.
Going back just a little bit, you've dipped into some Masters tournaments this year. What has that experience been like?
It's been great. A lot of the players playing in that division are ones that I knew from many years back that I don't get to see as often on tour now, especially with the removing the age-protected divisions from most of the Elite Series events. So it's great. It's like a family reunion.
You know, the star power is rising too. I mean, the star power is there, but more and more players like yourself are playing those tournaments. What can we do to improve those?
Increasing the visibility via coverage and the promotion of the events, and then of course increasing the standards at all of those events. You know, the Pro Tour has been really raising the bar, excuse me, and you know, it's just tough for a part-time TD and a local community to keep up with what a organization like this is doing with the sport. So I would say, you know, even maybe getting the Pro Tour involved a little bit on some of the event management and promotion of some of those age-protected events.
Hinted on it a little bit, back to the woods for Smugs-ish, kind of, and then MVP and Nevin for the Pro Tour. I mean, what was a goal for you over the next month?
As you know, just continue to increase my skills in every area, and keep my body healthy, and just really enjoy playing the game and take it one shot at a time, one tournament at a time.
All right, and the next time we come back to Smugs will be for a World Championship next year with 2 diverse courses and everything. What does that mean for Smugs to be on the clock, so to say?
I think it shows, it's a testament to how great of events get run here and how great the staff is and how great the property is. So, yeah, I think that places like this should be rewarded with majors because they deserve it.
All right. That's Sarah Hokom. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, everybody. We have your 6-time world champion, Paul McBeth. Paul, how are you doing today?
Doing well here in Vermont. It's beautiful. It's a little bit cooler than what the last event was, so it's a good change.
Changing into the season and changing into the timing that we're in on the tour, you are in first place in the Disc Golf Pro Tour standings. How important is it to you to have that #1 seed spot and a bye into the semifinals?
I think every year I've been in the Pro Tour, I guess the final event, I've kind of had a bye, which I don't know how I feel on it yet. You know, it's really cool because I have to perform well in order to get to that position. But I don't know. I feel like I want to play more. I want to experience the event more. I want to kind of do those matches instead of just jumping in, and now you're competing against people that are hot. You know, so yeah, I don't know how I feel about that side yet.
And even thinking about just how this season's new format will shake down, and the fact that we've been on open bomber courses and it's paring down to have the final stages at heavily wooded courses. What are your feelings on that, and even going to Nevin?
So the only time I played Nevin was Worlds in 2012, and out of all the courses that I played for that World Championship, Nevin was my favorite one. So it'll be cool to go back there and see what it's like, you know, a decade later. So just to see where my game's at and what that course is kind of like, you know, 10 years later. So that'll be a cool experience. But other than that, like, we're getting to that wooded, you know, we're in that wooded part of the year minus USDGC. So it's a good change. It's fun, and it really shows off, you know, how well-rounded these players are.
And then just one last question, kind of, you had mentioned it in prior press conferences, I think it was prior to Worlds, but working on your putt and working on different pieces of your game, are you in that comfortable stage with the skills you've been working on? Yeah,
so after Worlds, you know, that was something I really wanted to work on, was putting. So taking the week off, letting my body heal up after that, you know, after that week, it was fun to just go and focus on putting. So I feel like it's turned the corner, you know, right in time for the events where you really need putting, you know, in the woods and such like that. So yeah, it feels good, and hopefully I can showcase it, you know, if it's not too windy like it is today. You know, it's putting kind of gets wiped off the board when it's this windy.
Well, best of luck to you this weekend, and here's Hayden.
Hey, Paul. What have the past 2 weeks been like as a 6-time?
Same as 5-time. No, I shouldn't say that. It's been really busy, you know, working with Discraft, and working with doing, you know, podcast interviews, stuff like that. So working with a lot more people, just kind of about the experience, what it feels like, and things like that. So it's been busy there, but as far as playing, it's been kind of a little bit slower, just healing up, resting up, and then doing a lot of putting. So it's been nice.
How is the injury? How are you feeling right now?
So this is probably the second time since Worlds where I was able to play without, like, still having lingering issues. So it's good. It's good. Played 2 rounds on Monday once I got here, and then yesterday was kind of an off day with how much it rained, and then today just super windy. So it was just let's just walk through the course pretty much. So it's been good though.
I mean, you had to battle through all kinds of stuff that week in Emporia, and then, you know, at the end taking it down, you showed a lot of emotion. You know, have you had time to process that moment, and how hard was it to get that win now that you've reflected on it a little bit?
Every win's hard, you know, so it's more than just the week of being there, you know. It's the preparation you put into the tournament, the mental focus you put into the week. So I feel like every tournament you win is just, it's a huge accomplishment. So that one, I feel like it was just a year worth of building to that moment, you know, from last year, how Worlds ended, to how European Open ended, to how my year was going, and how I was struggling with putting that week, and just mainly Circle 2, but like, it just seemed like there were so many things that were stacked against what I was trying to accomplish that it was really fun challenge to overcome all those.
Nice. And I think you said the other day 4 more events to go, 4 big ones, including a major. Mm-hmm. What's the next month look like? What do you obviously want to win, but what's a goal for you over the next month?
Yeah, hopefully 4 wins. You know, so that's the goal. That's what I want to do. I want to play well. I want to be ready for each event. That's the biggest thing, is being ready for each event. Because if I'm not ready, then it's going to be a struggle, and probably not as fun as it should be. So goals to win 4 tournaments. You know, each one I enter into, I want to win. So I just gotta be prepared and ready for them.
All right, the next time we're back in Vermont, you'll be here as the defending world champion for Pro Worlds. How have you seen this place grow and evolve over the years to what it is now?
Well, so we played here, 2018 Worlds. I've played here for quite a few years. I think it just seems the same. You know, it seems like it's been the same each time. I don't know. There's one hole that's changed on Brewster and Fox. They've moved one basket last year, I think. So not much has really changed here. It's still Vermont. You know what you're going to get. You know what it's going to look like. Leaves are changing right now. It's a little windy, a little bit cooler weather. So I don't know what it'll bring for Worlds that'll be different than what we're experiencing now. So this is good preparation.
All right, that's Paul McBeth, the world champion here at Smugs. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, everybody. We are here with your current female pro champion, world champion, Kristin Tattar. Kristin, how are you doing today?
I'm very good. I'm very happy to be here. I think it's been a 3-year break since I was here last. So yeah, I'm just enjoying my time here.
And you are our first European world champion. Can you talk a little bit about the reception from your country and what that means to you?
Yeah, I've been getting a lot of messages from Estonia and a lot of media attention as well. It's definitely huge because we're a small country, and whatever an Estonian does outside our country is a huge deal. So yeah, I've been getting a lot of messages, a lot of positive feedback. It's been a crazy week.
I can only imagine. Also, congratulations last weekend, taking down yet another victory at Butler County. Does that give you, I mean, just describe how you're feeling going into this semifinal event right now.
I'm feeling quite relaxed. I mean, I'm just following the schedule that I've set for myself. So regardless of the results that I've been having or the title that I received, everything's pretty much the same. Just trying to focus on the next tournament and not thinking about anything else right now. Just focusing on getting this season done.
Well, my next question actually had to do with goals, and specifically, thank you for sharing your focus. In order to become the tour champion, we have 4 events left. Break down event by event. What is it going to take for you to land on top?
Well, I think I've been feeling pretty good lately. I think my focus has been where it needs to be. Not trying anything too crazy on the courses, just trying to figure out what is the highest percentage shots on the course and just following the game plan, not getting ahead of time, you know, just being in the present moment. And to be honest, I haven't been really worried about the results lately. I think a lot of work has been done, and I feel at ease. So yeah, just taking one tournament at a time and hoping for the best.
Well, thank you for sharing that. Very powerful words for our listeners. And the challenge is keeping yourself healthy, both body, mind, and spirit on the road. You seem to be doing a good job. It's coming out with good results. But what do you find to be your biggest challenges to stay healthy?
I guess the time between like relaxing and practice. I think I'm trying to do too much very often. But coming down with this injury, it has taught me a lot. I know that I cannot practice too much, you know. There has to be some time to take just rest, you know. And I've been trying to rest more than I've been doing in previous years or in previous trips. Not really playing 2 times a day, 2 rounds a day, and emptying my bag on every hole. It's not necessary. Just trying to be more like smart.
And my last thing here, just a quick reflection. You are in the midst of one of the most incredible female disc golf records to go down in history books throughout your season. When you were planning this season, or even prior to this year, would you have ever expected to see yourself in this place? And how does this feel? What does it mean?
It feels incredible. You know, I'm still looking back at this season, even though it's not over yet, but it feels incredible, and I could have not imagined it go any better, you know. I think I have had a very, very incredible journey, and this season I've just tried to be myself, not let myself be held back by any fear, just putting myself out there, not be afraid of being vulnerable, you know, and I think it has helped me a lot, just to be me and not worry about what others think of me, or if I throw OB or miss a putt. I'm not worried about these things, just trying to do things that feel comfortable, and yeah, it has worked out.
Well, thank you for sharing those words. Wisdom to share for many, many years to come. And here's Hayden Henry with the next questions.
Thank you.
It's going to be tough to follow that up. Now, just incredible stuff. But leaving Emporia and going to Pittsburgh, what was your thought process, I guess, going into that tournament?
Just very, very similar to all the other events. Not thinking about that I just got this huge title. I think I was not thinking about it at all. I was just very relaxed, and I knew that if I follow my game plan and do the same thing that I've been doing this whole season, everything will work out. Everything will go the way it should go, and again, not afraid of anything or thinking about, oh my gosh, now I have more pressure or anything, nothing like that. Just very at ease.
So you got to see a new course last week at North Boundary that not a lot of people, or hasn't been on tour. What did you think overall?
I think it was quite fun course to play. The distances were quite short, so it was just more like creative golf. You need to navigate through very tight tunnels, and I think it was quite challenging and interesting. I loved playing there.
Nice. And injury-wise, how are you feeling right now?
I think this week has been the hardest because I did not take a day off because here we have to play 2 courses, and so I've been practicing. But I know that just a few more weeks and then I have a rest week, I'd say. Of course, I will practice, but not take it too seriously. So, yeah, it's been okay.
Aside from being apart from family and friends, what's the hardest part about being stateside and being on the road and traveling week to week? Is it navigating? Is it finding something to eat? What's the hardest part?
I think right now it's keeping the focus. I find it after every week I find it more hard because mind starts to wander. I think getting back home is getting closer, and then you start to think about it too much, and it's hard to keep that focus. But I try my best to do it.
All right, we're here at Smugs. What's the challenge this week? What do these courses demand for you to exceed or excel?
Well, on Fox Run, you just have to keep it inbounds, I feel like, not go too crazy over there. And in the woods, just giving yourself opportunities, just hitting the tunnels. And yeah, that's about it.
All right, that's Kristin Tattar, your world champion. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
And we are rejoined here by Aaron Gossage. Aaron, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Pretty good, thank you. And congratulations on your second place finish at the World Championships. What an incredible, incredible accomplishment.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And I think that the world would like to hear from you again. How did that feel? And when I mean how did that feel, the battle coming down in the stretch with maybe one of your lifetime disc golf heroes and battling for that world title. What was going through your mind and what were those feelings like?
Yeah, it's definitely kind of a surreal experience. Looking back on it, it's still just kind of a blur. But now that it's over, I've gotten over being too disappointed with everything. Of course, you can look back at all the things you could have done a little better. But overall, I'm just happy with how I played and was fortunate to be in that situation.
Absolutely. I kind of want to touch back. A surreal experience. Could it be described as a dream come true?
Yeah, more or less.
Being there.
I mean, obviously the dream would be to make the island there in the playoff, but yeah, there at the end, I was just like, hey, this is kind of what you're playing for. This is what we live for, and I'm kind of in that situation. So it was a really neat experience.
Absolutely. All right, well, you are currently in 13th place in the Disc Golf Pro Tour standings, and that feels like a pretty comfortable spot. How does that feel for you going in? Is the attack plan aggressive? Has much really influenced that, the being in 13th position?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit different than last year. Last year I was kind of right on the edge going into these last few tournaments, so there's a lot of pressure for me to perform well at the end. And now the pressure's off a little bit, and I can just go out to these courses, have fun, stick with my game plan, and I think it'll be a better mindset going in.
Very cool. And we've heard a few things, maybe rumor and some of the magic scuttlebutt, but does the mustache really make the putt go in a lot easier?
Good question. The mustache is pretty funny. My friends just told me I should go for it, and I kind of like the look of it, and I've just been rolling with it. So I'm not sure how long it'll last, but yeah, it's going to stay through the end of the season for sure.
A certain rumor mill has it that you may shave if you become the tour champion. Could this be true?
I don't know about that one. I haven't given any of that much thought, so I don't know.
Well, best of luck here in the semifinals, and here's Hayden.
Awesome, thank you.
Hey, Aaron. Just going back these past 2 weeks, what are your notifications been like on your phone and from the support and messages and everything?
Yeah, it's been pretty crazy. Definitely got a huge boost in like social media following, tons of messages giving me congratulations. So it's been kind of surreal, and then a bunch of people I just bump into just congratulate me that I don't know. So it's been a lot of fun. It's great to feel all that support from everyone.
All right, you walked up with a stack of putters. Now we know the mustache might have a small part in that, but break us down. You know, you got 5 putters right there. What's your practice routine on the putting green?
Yeah, just getting a lot of reps in. I've been trying to go 30 minutes at a time just because I lose a little bit of focus after that. So just trying to get as many reps in as I can and just cycle through those 30-minute cycles with a little bit of break. After Worlds, I just know that putting the work in on the putting green is going to pay off for me. So I've just got to keep that going and really grind through the end of the season on the putting green.
You know, just going back to your preparation when you come to a course, whether the first time or however many times you've been here, what's your practice routine like?
Yeah, so it was really nice for this one. Just like Worlds, I got here a little bit early. Because of that, I'm able to throw the shots, and sometimes some of the holes are a little easier. I only practice them a couple times because I know exactly what I'm going to throw. And then a few of the shots a little more difficult that I can't quite figure out, I'll walk up and down the fairway a few times, grabbing my discs, trying different lines. But overall, just trying to put together a consistent game plan to yield consistent results.
And how does that game plan and your skill set work with these 2 courses?
So Brewster Ridge is definitely not kind of my skill set, but I'm going to try to expand my skill set, if that makes sense, and try to make this a course that I can attack. So I'm definitely going to be throwing a lot of forehands. That's kind of my comfort zone in the woods. But out at Fox Run, I think I'll be able to attack a little bit more and really go for some more shots. That kind of open style with lots of out of bounds is more my cup of tea. So just keeping the disc in play and giving myself lots of opportunities for birdies is kind of what I'm planning on.
Nice. All right, that's Aaron Gossage. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we are back and joined here with Henna Blomroos. Henna, how are you today?
I'm feeling good.
And your very first time here at Smugglers Notch Resort in Vermont. What do you feel about the area of the world that you're in?
Oh man, I love this place. The hills and mountains, they are so pretty, and the courses, the boat course are my favorite. Yeah, I love them.
And both courses being so different. There's a good contrast here. Big, wide open, and then wooded. So you like them both equally, or give us some of your favorite parts about the courses?
I think I love more that open course. There is that couple holes, maybe 7, 8, 9, and I like that more. But the wooded course, it's challenging, and now we have maybe 5 women's T-bats, and I'm excited about that.
Very good. And congratulations on your second place finish at the World Championships.
Thank you.
Tell us about the feelings associated with that big of an accomplishment.
I felt great, and my driving game was on fire, and yeah, it feels good. Yeah, I have had a little bit problems on this season, so after that second place on Worlds, I feel great.
A confidence booster.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Very good. And what parts of your game would you say you have struggled with but worked through?
I have struggled with before or now? Oh, What do you mean?
Yeah, because you did so good at the Worlds. To me, looking like results are good, but what were the pieces of your game that you had to focus on to get there?
Putting. Putting is my weakness, and I really need to work that.
So right now, in the Disc Golf Pro Tour standings, you are sitting in 25th place. Does that influence how aggressive you might be playing these courses this weekend?
Yeah, I need to play good. I think I don't try to be too aggressive, but I know that I need to play good if I want to be on finals.
And just want to talk a little bit about this practice day today. We're seeing high winds. We've looked at the weather forecast, and we know it's going to get a little bit colder. Are you good in the wind? Are you feeling comfortable about these temperatures?
Those temperatures are not problem for me because I'm from Finland. There is always cold, but the wind, I think I can play good with the wind. I don't see the problem there.
Very good. Well, one last thing, just going back to such an incredible finish at Worlds. How has it been hearing from people back home and maybe people in the media? Have you had a good response?
Yeah, I have, and it feels great. It was a big thing to my family and Finland to be there, and 2 Europeans on top 2. It's a big thing.
Well, congratulations and best of luck to you this weekend.
Thank you.
We are back here with 5-time world champion Paige Pierce. Paige, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
How does it feel to be back in lovely Smugglers Notch?
Yeah, it's amazing. As soon as you drive through the notch, honestly, as soon as you hit the Vermont line, it's like a breath of fresh air. It's so beautiful here, and it's just, the people are smiling and everyone's outside. It's definitely a disc golfer's dream to be in this state.
And here we are kind of wrapping into the season finale, if you will. We're at the semifinals, Green Mountain Championship. It's a new format. You are going in the standings in first place. What does that mean to you?
It means I've had a good season. You know, I won 2 out of the 4 majors and I've won 3 Elite Series events, so it feels good to put a good year together. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm in the standings as number 1 right now, but I know this event counts, I think it's like 125%. So this is going to be a huge week for me to try to see if I can keep that number 1 seed going into Maple Hill.
And you've had plenty of tournaments here, many, many good memories, but what aspect of your game are you focused on the most to find yourself on the podium?
Yeah, I totally have had so many good memories here. This is probably my favorite place, and when I think of disc golf, I think of Fox Run and Brewster. I've had so many amazing moments here. I think always, like, I know I have every single skill set that I could ever need in disc golf. It's more just the mental battle, you know. Every week it's trying to make sure that you're on top of your mental game, and so for me that's what it's going to come down to. And I think that being here, I feel in a good headspace, so I think that'll go into trying to get me onto the podium.
Thank you for sharing about headspace, and let's talk a little bit about physical and kind of body awareness. How is the body feeling at this point in the season?
Yeah, it feels good. I don't really talk to you guys too much about my injuries. I've been super lucky in my career. I haven't had like a injury that's caused me to miss events, really. I've had like little sprains and stuff like that, but Seth Muncie always works with me, tries to get me as much specific exercises for that injury. At Worlds I was kind of dealing with a little bit of a groin injury, but it got better around day 1. It got better, and it's feeling great right now. I have no pain in my body, so I'm feeling good.
Wow, thanks again for sharing for that. You're also a player, you know, you mentioned that we don't typically talk to about injuries or the body, and I've got to ask, do you think that it had a little bit to do with some of the performance at Worlds? Were you experiencing pain? Were you experiencing the body uncomfortable during the World Championships?
What do you, my performance? Is that what you said? No, I don't think so. I think I played good, actually. I really was proud of my play. I think that the biggest thing that set me back, well, besides I can't shoot 22 under in 2 rounds, you know, I mean, better than that. Kristin shot 21 under in the final 2 rounds. So for me to have won, I would have had to shoot, I think I was 4 back going into that round, so I would have had to shoot 26 under in the final 2 rounds. So, you know, I'm happy with a 5th place finish. I had a couple decent rounds, but I never had like a stellar round, and I think that came down to my putting. My circle 1 putting was good, but circle 2 I hit like 2 outside the circle, but they were like 34 and 38 feet. Like, I didn't hit a putt outside of 40 feet, and I think that was my crux, if you will, I guess.
5th in the world still.
Yeah,
again, like you said, it's nice to hear you share with the public that is a place that you find yourself proud to be in. And so one last question here before I pass it off. Recent history shows fact that after watching live music before a large event, some of the mojo factor goes up. And we might have heard a rumor that you got to see some good music last night. Are you in the best place you could possibly be for GMC?
I think so. I definitely think so. I mean, all smiles. When you go, there's nothing like it. Like, you go to a music show and everybody's there to collectively have that energy, and you're all feeling it together. And, you know, you see that, like, when James throws the holy shot, like, everyone's energy was matched, and it's just a good place to be. If you don't see live music, like seriously go on Ticketmaster, Jam Base, bands in town, go see some shows near you. And I recommend Billy Strings. He transports me to a whole other world, and like time stands still. You don't know if you're in 1991 when you're born or 20 years from now. You know, it's pretty special.
Thank you so much for sharing. And here's Hayden.
Hey Paige, you know, going back to Worlds, you know, as a world champion, an ambassador of the game, fan of disc golf, what does a 1-2 European finish mean to the sport overall?
At Worlds?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it shows, I mean, every time that there's a European tournament, I'm, you know, like you said, a fan of the game. I'm always looking at what the scores are, and you see all these names shooting hot scores, but they're always falling a little short to Henna and Evelina and Kristin when they're over there. And when they're not over there, you're seeing these girls rise to the challenge and come out with these European Pro Tour wins. And I think that shows them, hey, if we keep pushing and we keep getting closer and closer to Henna and Evelina and Kristin, we can come over to the States. And those girls also, not only their performance here, but just their leap to come over here and spend, not just for one tournament, but to come on a tour here. I think that gives those European players a little bit more of like, hey, I can do that too. And it gives them someone to talk to, like, how did you do that, where did you stay, who did you talk to, and just that community to kind of bounce resources and ideas off of. I think that's a huge thing for European players.
What's it going to be like when this Worlds inevitably goes to Europe and it's hosted over there?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's long overdue. I mean, why is the United States holding every single Worlds ever? That's not a world championship, if you ask me. So I think it's long overdue, and I think it's what needs to happen to show the Americans, like, hey, they're coming over here. Why are only 4 FPO women going over, 4 United States FPO women going over to Europe when a lot of them are coming over here? So I think, yeah, I'm excited for that day, and the courses are great, and the community's great, and I'm looking forward to it.
Now, personally, I think it's coming sooner than later. So back to Smugs, what makes the golf here so special, just so diverse?
Yeah, I think, like you just said, diverse. Like the range of courses are completely different. You know, Brewster, you have 18 holes inside the woods. There's not one open hole. And then you get over to Fox Run, and you got a lot of airspace, a lot of out of bounds, par 4s, even a par 5 out in the open field. So if you're, in both cases, if you're not hitting your line, on Fox, you're OB. On Brewster, you're off the fairway and scrambling to get back onto the fairway. So I think the diversity is really what makes this place special, and getting to play each course twice is really cool, because we get to challenge both sets of our game and then also get redemption on that course, or maybe not redemption, maybe we shot a great round but we want to do even better. So I think playing multiple rounds at the same course is really fun too.
All right, and the next time we come back here will be for Pro Worlds for 2023, so exciting stuff. Thanks, Paige. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Rejoining here with Ricky Wysocki. Ricky, how are you today?
I'm doing great. It's hard to be in a bad mood here in Vermont. Tons of great views. We got some of the best disc golf courses on the planet here, and yeah, so we're all excited to be here in this great state of Vermont.
It's definitely the same response across the board, and when you say we're all excited, the entire tour that is here seems to be pretty happy to be here. You are currently in second place in the Disc Golf Pro Tour standings. First off, how's the body feeling at this point in the season?
It was feeling a little rough heading into Worlds. Got my body for the most part healthy, and was able to play, mostly injury free, so that was good. But yeah, this stage in the season, we're throwing tons of shots and we're practicing. It's not just the tournaments that we're playing. We're playing so many practice rounds leading up. So I think that, it just takes a toll. But here in Vermont, we're able to jump in the ice baths and the cold water. That helps to recover the muscles a little better. So that's another reason why I love Vermont.
So is that one of your recovery methods is ice baths?
Yeah.
Still doing it?
Yeah, definitely doing it. And here in Vermont, you have natural ice baths with the river and stuff. You do a little rock jump into the water and swim around, throw some Frisbees around. And so, yeah, it's just a great atmosphere. You just feel like you're, one with nature here in the state.
All right, so focusing on the fact that this is the semifinals, what is your main focus as far as Ricky's game going into this weekend?
Yeah, so for me, it's just a mental battle, and that's super important. This late in the season, it's easy to kind of drain the mental well, so to say, and you have to find ways to reset your mind. Go ice bathing, go hiking, do something just to reset your mind. I think that's super important, so that way you can come back with a fresh mindset. I had a week off after Worlds, and I think that's really going to help me kind of build up that mental well that I like to talk about.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. That's pretty important information. And again, how do you feel about this year's? It's the first time we're going through this format for the final portion of the season. How do you feel about that format?
I'm excited. I think that our sport really needs that. I think that it's kind of weird that our sport, we have 1 week out of the year it determines a world champion. I think it should be more of a season-long thing. As an individual sport, I think that having a semifinals, it's like a basketball series. You don't just show up and play for the world championships like we do this year, like we do normally. You have to earn your way up, like a basketball. You play the semifinals, and you play, and you work your way up to the finals, and then you have a series to determine who's the world champion, instead of just having a week out of the year like we do. Because a lot of times it turns out that the world champion is the best player in the world, but there's a lot of years that also the world champion isn't the best player in the world. So it's there's a difference between being a world champion and being the best player in the world. There's a big difference, and I think that's got to be something in our sport that's kind of got to change, because I just think that as much as I'm a world champion and I'm thankful for that, I think that you kind of got to separate the two, being a world champion for that one tournament and then being the best player in the world throughout the whole season.
And the consistency, the hard work factor put in.
Exactly.
And really, my last question for you it rounds all of that out to the Tour Championships. The announcement that it's moved from Hornets Nest over to Nevin. First of all, what are your thoughts on that?
I think it's great that we're having it in Charlotte in the first place, because you have the option to play that, almost any course in Charlotte's a championship level course, majority of them. So I think it's a luxury that we chose that city, and I think that Hornets Nest is a great course, and I'm kind of bummed we can't play there. But I think Nevin offers a lot of the similar hole design and a lot of similar challenges as far as a course goes. Tight wooded Charlotte fairways where you're throwing to point A to point B, and really severe angles in carving fairways through the woods. So I think that you're going to offer the similar style of play, and I think it's challenging, and I think it's perfect for a Pro Tour style event that we have there.
Thank you very much, Ricky. I'm going to pass it off to Hayden and hope to see those Raptor legs out this weekend.
Thank you. Yeah.
Hey, Ricky.
Hey.
You've been coming here since 2013 when this was just a B tier. Now the secret's out, obviously. So how have you seen this place grow to where it is right now? About to host its second World Championships next year.
Yeah, I mean, this place is obviously amazing. It's been amazing since day one. Since I think I've won this event 5 times. And I think that it's obviously, coming with Jeff Spring back when he was the tournament director here, and obviously still really involved in the Pro Tour, but, he was always getting the players to, hey, come to Vermont, check out these courses that he's put a lot of time and effort in. And now, now he doesn't have to sell this place. Once you come here, you see the natural beauty, you see the amazing courses, and it just sells itself. And I think that that's a big reason why it's becoming a staple in our tour, and a big reason why they've hosted now. They're going to be 2 world championships in 5 or 6 years. So yeah, I think it's a perfect venue for the players, for spectators, and for everyone involved. And I think that's why it all comes together.
What kind of shots do you have to have out here? Very diverse?
Yeah, very. Yeah, obviously, you could say that about a lot of courses, but I think that that's another great reason why this is such a great venue, is because you have both styles of courses. You got hilly, open, Fox Run, and you got Brewster, which is more wooded, placement golf, and I think 4-day events. I like 4-day events. I think it's really enough golf to where best players are going to rise to the top, and you really have to still play consistent as well. So, yeah, just a great overall venue to attack, and I'm excited.
All right, we hounded you about this early in the season, but coming in with a new bag or return to an old bag, how has that kind of evolved, and what's that process been like now that we're at this point in the year?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely different. I mean, most players, they're playing, going back to that, that course or that event, playing with the same discs and the same. But it's almost like you're playing that course for the first time, even if you played it before. If you have a whole new bag, it's it's a whole different bag of shots, and so it's kind of, it adds a fun variable to it, because obviously I've been coming here for almost 10 years now, so not that the course gets boring, but it's kind of just you have to always be on your toes, and you can't take any shots for granted, because you just gotta you can't just cruise in autopilot because you played the course a lot. And I think that for me, yeah, it's a fun challenge to attack the course with a new bag.
All right, that's Ricky Wysocki. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Returning now with Joel Freeman. How you doing today, Joel?
Doing very well, thanks. How are you?
Great, thank you. And let's see, you couldn't have been here for too long, coming off of a nice win at the Butler County. Congratulations on that first place.
Thank you very much. It's a crazy weekend.
Yeah, I was going to say, just reflect on it just really quickly. We know that that's like the Ironman of endurance type of course.
Yeah. I mean, really hilly, really wooded. And of course, the final round was just like an amazing experience for me. Best round I've ever played. And so, exciting finish and a cool way to come into just the last few big events of the year.
And that was first Silver Series Pro Tour win this season. You also took down the match play.
Yeah.
What does it mean to come into a first place podium finish in these final 4 events to you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still chasing after that big kind of elite series or major win. And so yeah, I've just been doing everything I know to do to take, each little baby step towards capturing my first, top tier win, if you will. So yeah, each weekend I just see as a little stepping stone, and this past weekend was a big one. So.
And coming down into this final stretch, a lot of players talk about keeping the body maintenance, keeping the spirit, the mind. What's the most important focus for Joel?
Yeah, for me, it feels so easy because I've got my wife, Alyssa. She's been with me all of last year and this year, which has just been night and day, just a complete game changer having her. She keeps the spirits high, like you're talking about. She keeps my physical health in better condition as well. She helps me a ton with meals and logistical things, and obviously just the emotional support and all that good stuff as well. And so it feels easy to me after my first 2 years, 2018 and 19, on tour, not having her. Now the contrast, it just feels like cake compared to what it was before. So,
we're seeing those higher finishes. So obviously, good attribution to her.
Yeah.
So coming into this tournament, you are in 7th place in the DGPT standings.
Cool.
And does that mean too much to you, or is it the same game plan as it is like you're talking about these stepping stones, just kind of taking it shot by shot?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where other people's heads are at, but for me, it's like I'm chasing down number 1. So, number 7, it means there's 6 guys between me and that top spot, and trying to be realistic and manage expectations at the same time, while at the same time kind of pressing on towards the goal, which is number 1. So, I would love to finish the season in that top 8 to get me that bye to the semis or whatever during the Pro Tour Championship. That'd be a big deal, and a cool accomplishment. But I think number 7 is fitting. I've had a solid season, better than any I've had before, and it's a good number.
Well, good luck this weekend, Joel, and I'm going to pass it off to Hayden.
Thank you very much.
Hey, Joel. Going back to Pittsburgh, Butler County Silver Series, kind of like a pipeline to getting on the Elite Series. Course-wise, what did you think of the course overall, and do you see that becoming an Elite Series stop?
Absolutely. Overall positive feelings for sure. It's an amazing piece of property, and they obviously have a community and a staff that cares a ton. There's been so much time and labor and volunteer hours put into that property, so I think it really has a really bright future. Having said that, there are definitely, it seemed like most of the players and the staff and everybody there was on the same page about the course still has a little ways to go in terms of making a few adjustments, cutting out a couple trees, making it a little more fair. But I think it has a really bright future. I can easily see an Elite Series stage being there.
Yeah, a new course on tour. So how important to you, or do you think, is this pipeline, like to create new spaces for y'all to go play? Not the same old every year, but something fresh.
Yeah, I love it. I think, as we all know, disc golf is exploding, is growing like crazy. And I think with that, the players' skills are evolving. And with that, the courses need to evolve as well. And so even though we're used to seeing these courses that we know and love, and a lot of them are great, we're starting to need something different, and I don't know exactly what that something is, but I love the idea of kind of dipping our toes in the water with the Silver Series kind of format to test some new courses out and some new designers and properties and all that. I love it.
All right, going back to that last round, were you aware of what you were doing in the moment, or like what? Just tell us that feeling, and how do we get that feeling?
Yes and no. I was mostly just paying attention to Chandler Kramer. He was the man I was chasing that final round, and so I was tracking where my score was in relation to him. I was not like counting my birdies, and so I don't know. 2/3 of the way through the round, I was in the lead, and I was in a good spot, and just trying to stay relaxed and. Coming down the stretch, I guess the last hole, I was thinking to myself, I think I have a shot at shooting double digits. I'm somewhere in that maybe 11 or 12 territory, and I heard somebody, mention 14, and that took me back. I couldn't believe that ended up being the number. But yeah, just a really special round, and I think, like I said, that word relaxed. I was just kind of very trying to stay relaxed.
So many solid finishes this season. You've talked a lot about the mental approach. Stepping in, week in and week out, I should say. How crucial is that?
It's enormous. It's everything. I mean, everybody. I can't say everybody, but it feels like everybody out here has the skills to win, like physically. And so then it just comes down to who actually is going to show up and do it. Who's, and another way of saying that is mental game is everything. And so, I've been learning so much about what it means to have a strong mental game. It's a whole journey process, from beginning to end. Every year on tour, I'm learning new things. People might think the pros have it all figured out, but we're learning just like the amateurs are. And it's a really cool time in the sport in that sense, because there's not a right or wrong way to do a lot of things. So, big deal.
What's the challenge, week in and week out with that mental aspect? Is it the grind, the competition, or a little bit of everything?
That answer is probably different for every person. I think the biggest challenge is just like staying healthy in every sense of that word: physical, emotional, spiritual, whatever other kind of categories you can come up with. Health is just a huge deal, and so mental health, physical health, whatever that means for each person. There's not an exact, there's not the same recipe for each person to stay healthy, but whatever that means for you, it's a huge asset.
Great advice. Thanks, Joel. We'll be right back.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And we are back with Jessica Weese. Jessica, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you, Zoe?
I'm fantastic. Like the rest of the tour.
Gorgeous
Aren't we?
Day out.
Yep, back in heaven.
Yes.
So Jessica, congratulations last weekend on the Butler County Championships. How's that feel?
Thank you. Obviously there was some stiff competition out there, but I just, kept my head going in the next direction and didn't focus on any of the scores at all. I just focused on the next shot, and it seemed to pay off. I held on to second, so that was really good. Had a nice little cushion there, so that was very nice.
Very nice. And right now in the tour standings, you're in 19th place. Is that a stat or a placement that you think about, or do you pretty much start this whole semifinals seeing everybody at an even score and yourself pictured on top of the podium?
So honestly, I was debating on whether or not I was going to play this event, honestly. Last weekend, a few of you may have seen that I slipped on one of my shots, and right after that I was dealing with a little bit of an injury, I guess, and I feel like the next day I woke up and I had some things in my arm that were bothering me, some things in my back that were bothering me, and so I really didn't want to play this weekend, but here I am. I'm out here. I haven't thrown a practice shot. I know these courses, so I've played them in my head multiple times, and I feel like I'm ready, so here we go.
All right, so the strategy with taking the rest and going with what you know, relying on the muscle memory. It's been, I'd say, kind of an up and down season where we've seen some great finishes, some great plays. You've battled through some injuries. Taking care of the body is the main focus then, sounds like.
Yeah, obviously we only get one body and we got to try and take care of it. Being that we travel so much, it's really hard to find and trust a specialist to actually, work on me. And right now I'm trying to get it in with Seth, Disc Golf Strong, and see if he can help me out, get a little bit better feeling and a little bit stronger going into the weekend. But as of right now, I think rest was the best opportunity for me. I've been icing, and I use a little bit of like BioFreeze and a few CBD rub products just to try and help heal me a little bit faster.
And so we have such a huge contrast in courses out here. Fox Run is obviously the bigger, wide open, big shots. Do you think you'll find yourself maybe laying up or taking a little bit of the power off, or listening to the body?
So honestly, I threw so many sidearms last weekend that I'm feeling like that might be some kind of issue that I'm having is from throwing a lot of sidearms. So I might be throwing a lot of backhands this weekend. Y'all might see a lot of backhands. And I haven't thrown left-handed in quite a while, but few of you know that I am pretty wild with my left hand. I get out there, I could throw probably about 300 feet, so I might bust one or two out there. You maybe no. I don't know.
That sounds great. I know what the pure joy feels like and looks like releasing that lefty power distance shot, so I hope you don't have to lean on it this weekend, but if you do, it'll definitely be giving our viewers a show. I gotta ask one fun one for the crowd.
Of course.
What's the favorite double G flavor of jerky in the bag?
Ooh, that's such a good question. I can only say one flavor, so I would probably say the smash cracked pepper. The cracked pepper is absolutely addicting, and I could seriously keep the little crumbles in the bottom of the bag and sprinkle them maybe on my eggs in the morning, or save them for like a salad, or maybe on my meat at the end of the night. Those are definitely savory flavors, so that's my favorite.
Thank you so much for sharing and for being here with us. Best of luck this weekend, Jessica.
Thank you so much.
And we are back with our final guest here, Lisa Fajkus. How are you today, Lisa?
I'm great. How are you, Zoe?
So happy, just like you, smiling ear to ear here at the Smugglers Notch Resort. And let's see, how does it feel to you, Lisa? You've been here many times, plenty of good memories.
Yeah.
How does it feel to return?
Yeah, feels like I'm back at home, to be honest. Another like really familiar tour stop, and it feels so good to be here year after year, and just noticing the growth in my game personally, and just loving this area as well.
Very cool. And speaking about your season in the back half, it seems as though you've really picked up the pace and really had some higher finishes and battling for the podium.
Yeah.
Where's the mindset and the confidence level coming into this semifinals?
Yeah, pretty high, pretty steady, where it should be, I want to say. And that's a testament to a season long of being out on the road and just getting really grinded in all year and feeling kind of peaking now at the right time.
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah.
Self-preservation being so important, and we have 4 events left. And speaking of that, you are in 20th place currently in the Disc Golf Pro Tour standings. 4 events to go to lead up to that Tour Championship. What is the focus during these final 4 tournaments?
Basically, it's got to be one shot at a time out there, sticking to the game plan, and the big word is executing. I noticed these shots take a lot of placement and getting to your spots. So executing will really help me shine this weekend.
Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about the format. This is the first year that the Disc Golf Pro Tour has implemented the quarterfinals, semifinals, Tour Championships. How do you feel about the rules and the field paring down?
I like it, and I think it's awesome to have that. It's a real nod to the growth of our sport, and it's really cool to see a playoff in hand and points being required to make certain events. I remember several years ago being asked by just people who didn't really know much about disc golf. They asked me like, well, do you have to qualify for this event? And the answer used to be, well, no, anyone can sign up. But now we're getting to the stages of qualification necessary, and that's a really cool thing to see.
Yeah, the growth is real, and the talent pool. Speak to the talent pool just a little bit. We had 2 Europeans finishing on top at the World Championships.
Yeah.
Just speak to the feelings and the mindset about that.
The talent is worldwide, young and old, and there's even from last year to this year, the talent has like really risen up a lot. And I'm talking about players like, Ella Hansen comes to mind, and Kat Merch, and players are having like really breakout seasons. In my mind, seeing big improvements in people like Kristin Tattar, Paige Pierce. They're incredibly inspiring, and I think everyone wants to lift their game up to try to be closer to that.
Also, being a seasoned player like yourself, I know that we used to see a lot of the same people every weekend on each card, day in, day out. Have you found yourself making and forming new relationships with players and meeting new people this
100%.
season?
Yeah, definitely. And that's year after year, and that's been amazing. That's been constant year after year. And that doesn't change this year at all. I mean, even more so this year. There's people on here that I don't even know, which is even crazy to think, because usually everybody here. But sometimes you have several people that are pretty new, and it's really encouraging to see that. Yeah.
Thank you, Lisa. Well, any final thoughts just about the Green Mountain Championships, changes to either one of the courses, or just where you're at right now for your game?
It's all good, because I noticed there was some positive changes, especially on Brewster Ridge with the turf, the tee pads being like kind of re-turfed up where they're more grippy. So that was great, and only one change on the course as well. On Brewster Ridge, I noticed, I want to say it's like late in the round, and it was a hyzer, and now it's a kind of an anhyzer, a flick hole. It's that uphill hole. The number is leaving me, but I want to say it's around 14 or 15. So the course changes are amazing, and the course is a special course. So.
Very good. Well, good luck to you throughout the entire rest of it, and especially starting with this weekend.
Thanks, Zoe.